Bunzerelly Show.
This is the Bunzerelly Show. I am Joe Bunzerelli. Joining me, I got my buddy Khiim in the house. Khiim, how's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, you?
Good, great. We got a lot to talk to about today. We're talking about WandaVision, episode 5, a very special episode. Khiim, it's going to be tough to not just zip to the end.
Yeah, not to just jump right into what we want to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be like a little bit, we'll have to like just... That's okay, because if we go there, we go there. But there is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, lots to cover in this.
Before we got to that, there was a lot going on in this show. Even it starts out right away with the 80s. They had an 80s sitcom kind of thing going. Like, they had a theme song, like the Growing Pains kind of thing. Yeah, straight up 80s. Straight up. So all of a sudden, we're getting right back into the drama. Vision ruins a scene.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, not on purpose, but Wanda's like, oh, pick up the babies, and Vision's being a little neurotic, like, oh, you should wash your hands and not touch the baby. He was just being a little comedic goof. It was really, it's like actors. She's like, should I do the scene again?
Yeah.
And
should I take it from the top?
Yeah, and Vision's like, we'll find that out down the road, because we've been holding on to our theory that Vision is something. Vision is his own being.
Yeah.
They really fleshed out. It's actually a lot closer than we think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of points to that. Still no Ralph.
Yeah.
So that's still a question. Now, the twins growing. Well, I had questions about that, but then I watched it again, and Monica even pointed out those kids are real.
Yeah, they're definitely real. They're not, they're not like the other citizens of Westville.
Yeah, well,
Westview,
and they're real too.
Yeah.
Now they're not really under a mind control. They're just magical kids.
Yeah. Everybody else is hostages. These ones are legit. They are Wanda's children.
It is what they're showing her capable of doing. Is really the way the show is written is great, but the sword is there because they're thinking what we're thinking. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, because first of all, I'm like, okay, they're name dropping a lot. They're name dropping Captain Marvel. They're name dropping, but their sword.
Yeah.
It's their job to know all this stuff.
Exactly.
S.H.I.E.L.D. knew all this stuff.
Exactly.
So it's cool. It doesn't seem like, these aren't regular people just having this conversation. These are people that it's their job to know all this stuff.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. You brought up Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I still have not watched the movie. I'm slacking. I know.
That's okay. I can tell you what you need to know.
But I want to know, why did it seem like there was some kind of gripe between Monica and Captain Marvel when her name was brought up? Like it was a touchy subject. She didn't really want to talk about it.
I caught that. I only have one theory.
Okay.
My theory is because what the important thing about Maria Rambeau is she was in Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel kind of starts out with the powers. They develop as she goes. She discovers her past, but she actually, as she regains her memory, she realizes Maria Rambeau is her best friend. That's how she kind of puts together her puzzle. Monica Rambeau was a little girl at the time because the movie takes place in the 90s. So basically, Maria was her best friend. Monica knew about Captain Marvel's powers when she was a kid. She
idolized her.
Yeah, but picked out her costume colors. And, she goes, I can't wear these Kree colors. You got to pick a costume. Monica picks them out. My only thought I could have on that is when Maria got the cancer, I would think that Monica had some kind of bitterness that Captain Marvel wasn't there.
Okay.
I don't know what she thought Captain Marvel would do.
Yeah.
But it's also, well, let's think about it. This is 2 days or 3 days after, because Monica hasn't been back. Now I'm just realizing this as I'm saying this to you. Monica hasn't been back from the snap that long.
Yeah, no.
It's been 3 days since she woke up and found out her mother died.
Exactly.
And, that's so I think that's what it is. I think the bitterness is about her mother.
Okay.
That's the only, unless something else happened that we missed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and, I never expected her to die, so it's not really a spoiler or anything, but I'm pretty sure Monica is slated to be in Captain Marvel too.
Okay, yeah, I've actually heard some rumors about that.
Yeah, and you know what? I like Monica. She is the most quickly developed, fleshed out character that's just like I feel like we got to know her really good.
Really quickly, and it was, yeah, like you said, it was acceptable. It wasn't anything that felt forced.
Yeah, and even when she's on the other end of stuff, and then she, when she's on the outside looking in, or she's dealing with other people, but I just feel like we got to know her.
Yeah.
And like we said, we got to regroup her with the other. We got to hear about her experience in the Thing. Speaking of experience in the Thing, we got with the Hex, we got Vision's little situation with Norm.
Yeah.
That was some eye-opening stuff.
Yeah.
Because now we actually know what these people are going through.
Yeah, and that scene specifically had me like going back and just mentally thinking about all these other scenes, because this episode they really like honed in on what these characters say under their lines. A lot of times have double meanings. Yeah. They are on somewhat conscious of that they're being controlled, and they slip in these little like puns as a cry of help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they slipped in like Agnes a couple times kind of breaks a little bit, like, Mom, you could fix anything and you bring back, and even Agnes is like, can you do that?
Yeah.
Like, well, Wanda's loosening up, first of all.
Yeah. So like I don't know, this episode just really kind of rang that she's losing control.
Yeah, I think she's so powerful. I think she's in control, but like she's making a lot of things happen,
and she's driving herself overworked, almost like she's overworking herself, kind of.
When she had the argument with Vision, and we'll get back into that, but there was one point of that I took. We'll jump all whatever.
Yeah.
But the one thing I took of that, when she was saying, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm controlling mailman, dentist, having people pay their bills." I think she was realizing that she is doing that, and she's getting overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
As powerful as she is, it's still a lot that she's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
And especially with, I think that they're fourth walling. They're breaking the fourth wall to where they realize that we've all, as fans, have been talking about it. A lot of the characters that we see in the Marvel Universe are underpowered.
Yeah.
So they kind of purposely said that, oh, she could have beaten Thanos.
Yeah.
So I think they are addressing that, the fact that like we're going to see a power scale on something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, ironically, I actually, because my son, it was one of those dad moments, like one of those moments I've been waiting for, because he's like, Dad, I want to watch Endgame. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I actually, like last night, I got to watch Endgame again, and I watched that scene.
Yeah.
And I got to remember again that Scarlet Witch, supposedly the show takes place a couple days after Endgame.
Yeah.
It starts. It's just the only thing I have, everything I get, but maybe she just calmed down because she's at Tony's funeral and she has that conversation with Hawkeye. It's like, okay, but that obviously didn't plan the show then.
Yeah.
But just really, they all came back. Okay, celebration. But then you go home.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, like, holy, I lost Vision basically in her mind.
Yeah.
A day ago. Like it just happened to her, even though she's been gone 5 years. So I could see, I know we're going to explore that. We're actually going to see exactly what went down.
Yeah, I hope so, because even got to the point where he's just like telling her, I hope that what was he basically saying? I hope you're not the one that's conscious. Like, I hope you're not consciously making these choices, or that you just became aware of them. And she even mentioned saying, like, I kind of woke up in this reality. I wasn't the one that set this up. So something happened to where she doesn't know how it started, but then she kind of like, okay, well, I'm here and I'm going to keep it rolling.
Did she, I have one theory I'd like to throw that might be.
Is it Ralph?
No, not Ralph. Ralph's still up in the air. I'm still holding on to. I'm losing my Ralph theory, but if we see Thanos,
for Josh to just come rolling in.
just driving by. I mean, well, we saw at the end of this episode. You never know.
Yeah, honestly.
Here's what okay. So I forgot something because in this iteration of Wanda, and the MCU Quicksilver is that they weren't mutants. They got their powers because there was experimentation from the Mind Stone. I forgot it was the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
and that is the gem that powers Vision.
Yeah. So
okay,
that gave them a link.
Yeah. So Wanda destroyed the Mind Stone. So Wanda's been exposed to a lot of Mind Stone.
Yeah.
is it possible that Wanda has enough Mind Stone energy that she? Okay, let's say this. She used this power to bring Vision back. When she brought Vision back, exerting that power made this town start to happen, or maybe it tranced a couple people and it got a little bigger.
Yeah.
That's one theory, that she started it by accident, but then she realized, and then when she sees stuff like the Beekeeper, like the first time she's just like a little aware of it, and she just we still don't know what happened to that Beekeeper.
Yeah. Honestly,
that's just one theory I got going.
Okay.
Is maybe because. And we'll get the the argument with Vision. I love that scene, and we're gonna zip right into the Quicksilver thing. But that argument with Vision, because when you usually watch a scene a couple times, I didn't just watch the Quicksilver scene. I watched the argument and the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah,
because Vision was just like. She tried to roll the credits on him, and he wasn't
like,
having it. He goes, "No, we're still talking." And he was like, Norm can't talk to his family. I am scared. I don't even know who I am. And that says sentient. A lot.
Yeah, he's sentient. He is definitely like aware. So like, how much of him is back at this point? That's what we have to ask.
Yeah. So did you just reanimate him and his memory's wiped or something? And can he still be saved? It's still up in the air if Vision's going to come out at the end of the show alive or not. Yeah. I don't know. Let's get into Quicksilver.
Well, I wanted to ask you one thing. I wanted to ask you, just going back to Hydra, what part do you think they play? All these Hydra commercials that we're seeing. So now that we know that she is fully in control, she's the one that is, well, at least from what they tell us, they could throw a side loop still. But from what they're telling us in this episode, she's the one that's in control. She's the one that's been blipping out parts so that way whoever is monitoring in can't see it. We are still seeing these Hydra commercials.
The last
is that guilt? Because the last one we saw was the Lagos paper towels, and he mentioned Lagos was one of the incidents where I guess she had lost control and destroyed a large part of the city.
Yeah, that was the Civil War event.
Okay.
See, it's funny because I didn't even catch it when he said it. I was like, I wrote down Lagos, and I'm like, what is that? Because I just assumed it was a Hydra reference.
Okay,
so I think that's why the Hydra things, because I watched it again. And if you find it, or if anybody finds it, but I looked it up, I didn't see somebody else watching the video.
Not this episode, not at all.
But the last one, I think they flashed to a bunch of different people were watching the video because they were all gathering notes. And if I'm wrong, and if you, I went and looked for it.
Yeah,
but they showed because everybody was looking like the whole scientist thing. But I was still there because I still figured that's where Hydra is.
Yeah.
But now this Lagos thing has nothing to do with Hydra. The Lagos thing was her
guilt. Yeah.
Of Civil War.
Yeah, and even with the commercial, like Lagos for all the messes you didn't mean to make.
Yeah,
that was specifically her guilt.
Yeah, and even the new mess she's making that she didn't mean to make.
Exactly.
But she did create her kids, and she's got Vision alive. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that Quicksilver, it's like there, I want it. I want to get there, but I don't want to miss some things. My new favorite sound in that show is the breach.
Okay.
You hear that breach alarm, it means there's going to be some cool stuff
exactly,
happening. So you hear that first breach when they send in that drone. Wanda comes out.
That was a great scene.
Fully dressed, fully just like,
this is me.
Is this yours? And then I saw the silhouette. I saw the silhouette of the costume.
Yeah, I knew it. Quick flash with the cloak.
Yeah, that's that red trench coat. She's coming in her Endgame outfit, and I was like, oh, and then she came out full accent. Yeah, and I kept seeing Russian. It's Sokovian. It sounds like Russian, but she's from Sokovia.
Yeah.
She comes out. She confronts. Somebody pointed this out at Twitter, so I didn't want to take a full credit for it. But that gun move she pulled, that's a Magneto move.
Really?
That's something Magneto did in the first XMen movie. Whether they did that on purpose or not, because in that continuity,
that would be cool because of what happened at the end of the show.
Yeah, what we're looking at,
and whose father. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, it's like how far
are they going to reach into the lore?
Yeah,
you know.
Something else came, and like I said, I just give credit so I don't sound like I came up with these ideas.
Yeah.
I did see a Twitter story that says like, oh, they must have hinted at Fantastic Four, or you could see. And I was like, I don't see any hint of Fantastic Four.
Did they?
But well, what happened was this: the only thing I caught and I saw that story and I forgot about it. I honestly forgot about it, so I wasn't looking for the Fantastic Four thing. I'm like, who knows? People find Easter eggs about anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But Monica says to a point, she goes, I know an astrophysicist that this might be right up his alley.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, I'm totally drawing a blank. I'm like, Tony's dead. This isn't up Hulk's alley. I can't think of anybody. And it can't be even Captain Marvel because she's already has beef with Captain Marvel. That was the only thing I could think is maybe Captain Marvel because he was a pilot. And I'm like, it just popped in my head. I remembered the Fantastic. I was like, Reed Richards.
Yeah, I like that.
She must be, because that's part of the Fox purchase.
I like that.
Is Fantastic Four.
And the fact that you found importance in that scene, because I did too, but I just could not piece what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it played importance of what she was saying then, that like it's foreshadowing something, but I just didn't know who. Same thing, I didn't know like where to go with it.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'm like, well, maybe Khiim will have an idea, but I got nothing. And then I'm just sitting there, I'm like tapping the pencil on the note, and I'm like, Reed Richards. It's just the only person that this is up his alley.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about that, if he's just a scientist right now, we're not going to get whatever they're deciding to do with X-Men.
Yeah.
I think Fantastic Four are going to be just rebooted,
rolled in kind of with it.
Yeah, I think they're going to be I think they exist in the MCU already.
Okay.
I think he's a scientist right now.
Yeah.
They're going to have their event. Whether they change it from they went to outer space or something in the MCU is going to change things, but I don't think they're rebooting Fantastic Four.
When we meet Reed Richards, he'll be a scientist. He won't be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to use any of the cast from the other two movies. I think Fantastic Four gets a clean wipe.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean,
we've already got Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
Yeah, and and you could say, well, this guy was good here, this guy was good there, but there's nothing I'm too attached to.
Yeah, it wasn't solid enough of material.
Now X-Men is different because now here's some of the things I talked about.
X-Men's confusing.
Yeah, X-Men.
Don't know.
It here brings up another thing.
Going back to when they were talking about the Sokovian experiments and bringing up how she is an experiment with the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
I think that's them kind of subtly blending in mutants, because we've never heard anyone else. Well, Captain America, I'll take that back, because he was a product of experiment.
Yeah,
but we just haven't heard that a lot of heroes having their abilities because they were experiments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really, between her and Quicksilver, they are the most like direct link into mutants.
Well, here's
she links us to Quicksilver, and we got Marvel's Quicksilver now.
Yeah, the Fox's Quicksilver. Oh my God,
Fox's Quicksilver.
Yeah,
yes.
let's get into him before I get to this X-Men thing, because he's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be coming because the kids mentioned him again. Mm-hmm. Don't you have a brother? And I'm like, okay, that's twice now you've mentioned him. And we knew Evan Peters was cast. We didn't know if they were throwing us a red heading. When they were at the heat of that argument and the doorbell rang, I was like, this has got to be it. Because I look at the timer. I was like, there's 8 minutes left. So who's at this door?
I didn't know who it was going to be.
And I was like, they were talking about bringing back dead, this and that. And then she opens the door and you hear the breach sound again. Mm-hmm. So that's the other cool part about it, because he wasn't in there. He came from the outside.
Yeah, he came from the outside. I want to mention, or I want to ask something about that, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, they show him, they show the back of him, and then when I saw the back of the hair, I go, that's not going to be other actor, it's going to be Evan Peters.
Yeah. Once I saw the hair, I already knew.
And the funny thing is, when they close in on him, everybody's like goes to watch, they close in on him, and I said, yeah, the audience is clapping. The audience was me. I'm like, he goes, hey sis, just being a corny goofball.
Yeah. But that's what I liked about his rendition of Quicksilver versus the one that was initially in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, the one in Age of Ultron was just
way too serious, way too just dry. He was a very dry rendition of Quicksilver.
Yeah, but his snarkiness, he was like a bitter snarkiness.
Exactly.
Like he was always just mad at everybody. Even when he was on their team, he was. He just seemed like he wasn't likable.
Yeah,
there was nothing likable about him.
He didn't want to be there.
Yeah, when he died, I was like, all right. Yeah, well, I knew why they did it. He did it because of the Fox one. So now there's a ton of questions about this Quicksilver, but one thing I caught was he gave her like a shoulder shrug, like, come on, like he's in that cast.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think he is, because even she was very shocked to see him. He's a breach, so he's coming from the outside, so he wasn't already a part of the cast.
Yeah.
Now that makes me ask, because when I thought we were going to see this Quicksilver, I thought it was going to be after she broke reality.
Yeah.
They're now hinting to the fact that she has the power to control reality. When they showed Monica's not uniform, but Monica's clothes were still
Kevlar
made of Kevlar.
armor,
Yeah, so that's when I thought we were going to see Quicksilver. She broke reality. He's coming in from the same reality, so I'm wondering how is that, or who sent him, or why is he there?
No, I think she did it. I think she
so?
did it. I think she did it as part of the same way she made this town happen without knowing what she was doing. I think her conversation with the boys, I think it was kind of maybe lingering in her mind. And I think also to be overwhelmed. I don't, like I said, she's in control, but she's a little out of control.
Yeah.
And maybe the argument with Vision
Triggered it.
kind of triggered it.
Okay.
And she subconsciously did it. But what she did was she was reaching out for Quicksilver, for Pietro, and she grabbed, like I want to say she grabbed the wrong one.
I could see that, because I always thought that her having twin boys was not, well, twins was reminiscent of her and her brother.
Yeah.
And then boys was just being focused solely on her brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so she has that thing with her brother. Like,
Yeah.
even though she doesn't talk about it in the movies, it's like, I've actually said that. She never mentions, but it's always been on her mind.
Yeah.
They're telling us that now. And I think it's here's the curious part, because we saw what Vision did with Norm. Mm-hmm. I want to see Vision do that with Quicksilver. I want to know what Quicksilver thinks is going on.
So do you think well, you think that she made him come there. If he came in, did he get wiped by the hex?
I think he's okay. So I think he's in the trance.
Yeah.
But he knows. But he's Pietro. I think he's going to be a weird thing.
Yeah.
Because okay, so in the XMen movies, it was very slight, very subtle. It was very in the XMen movies when they show their which one is it? I think it's Days of Future Past. Mystique's making a speech or something at the end of the movie, and Pietro's at home with his baby sister on his lap. So that was their rendition of Wanda. So all I'm saying is it's totally off, but he has a sister named Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah.
He is Pietro Maximoff. Whether he has that connection with her, or knows there's a connection, or he's completely oblivious and playing his part and is just in the. But I think when you step in, you're in the trance.
Yeah,
because he's acting like a TV show.
Yeah, he is.
He's not acting like you just sucked me out of a different dimension. What the hell happened?
Exactly.
That's the part I want Vision. But
unless he's coming there to like play along and.
No,
you don't think so?
I think she pulled him out of a different universe. I think this is the beginning of the multiverse. I think Wanda's behind it.
I want to see it.
Well, here's a question: is he going to run fast? That's the first thing I want to see. Does he actually run?
Yeah.
If he runs fast, he's definitely Quicksilver.
And I think so, because if he is definitely Quicksilver, I think we'll see it, because we kind of see powers are getting more loose right now.
Yeah. But he's not.
Everybody is aware that they have powers, and they're really just going with it. It's where we saw the first couple of seasons. Or the first couple of episodes, Wanda was trying to like hide the powers, but now she doesn't care. People can see it, and they're gonna go with it.
But Wanda is shocked. Wanda is shocked, and she's like, Pietro, but she still kind of recognizes him. That's what I'm saying. I think it's Pietro. Mm-hmm. Like, she knows it's him, even though it's off and it's wrong and it's different. But I think she kind of tenses it's him. Yeah, it's just. This goes alternate dimensions, alternate universes, and that was what. But in doing that, she might have triggered the whole thing. Yeah, a little reach. Yeah, for
cause a ripple,
because you didn't need that for
butterfly
Vision.
Effect.
Yeah, all of a sudden you broke through that little plastic shell. So now you're opening up this can of worms.
And they already her name wasn't the Elder, was it? What was her name? The sorcerer. She already kind of mentioned that when we were going through, remember when they were running through the different timelines, she kind of mentioned how like reaching in, it doesn't just stay solid. It does branch out to other timelines. Yeah. Back when they were doing the thing with the Hulk.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Other timelines, other realities and
Yeah.
stuff. And it could be an other reality. A reality. What's the difference between another timeline and another reality?
Yeah.
It could be the same thing. It's just like if you were born 5 seconds later, you might look totally different.
Exactly.
So it is. It could be just him from an alternate timeline, and it just
And then that branches out and breaks
and
stuff.
even if your alternate timeline is instead of your parents getting killed in Sokovia, your parents were Magneto. You know,
Yeah.
things like I don't. You know what I mean?
So many ways we could go with it.
Yeah, and it's so now if you bring the X-Men in, so here's always was my problem with X-Men in general, because I probably said this before, but it's like, how come you like Spider-Man but you don't like mutants?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know the difference?
Yeah.
How do you know what's now in the X-Men in their own movies? There is no other superheroes when they were with Fox. So, what makes the X-Men weird? So what might be is if all of a sudden the X-Men start coming in, it's like, okay, you're these heroes from another dimension.
Yeah.
You're these mutants, and now you're like, that would make the world kind of look at them different.
And then that could drive that hate that there was in the X-Men world to where people hated mutants, you know?
Yeah, because and the world came out of this Thanos thing, and they're just like, okay,
You're a byproduct.
We got some weird stuff from another dimension. We don't trust you. We don't want you here. That would explain that.
Yeah.
You could even if there's been talk about they went to Hugh Jackman about reprising his role even for a little bit. I think the idea behind that, because they went to Patrick Stewart too about the Professor X stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, I'm done." I think what they want to do is just do a cameo, and we'll fold in whoever's going to replace you, whatever, just to like, hey, we recognize we're going to make this crazy universe thing.
Yeah.
I think Hugh Jackman will go for it. I think Patrick Stewart. I don't think he will. But
I'd like to see them both.
yeah, I would like to see them both too. I mean, it's X-Men is different because you could pick and choose. Like, okay, give me this X-Men, give me that X-Men. I don't know. So that's gonna be a curious thing to see what they do with that. If they just reboot, or even if this Quicksilver thing leads into the X-Men. I got another question about this Quicksilver, because even though we know he's from an alternate reality and stuff, my question is, how exactly, like, is he straight up Days of Future Past Quicksilver?
Yeah.
Is he straight up like my dad's Magneto?
Yeah.
Professor X. I'm an X-Man.
Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence is Mystique.
Yeah, like, is he exactly which is fine.
Yeah.
But I want to know how deep
Are they pulling
is
from
he
this?
exactly?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Vision's going to find that out. But now we have officially our first X-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like
I love it.
We have our first.
Yeah.
It's like we that glimmer. Like, oh, it might happen. We're working on it. Like, no,
it's there.
You
It's
started. You broke the seal. So now we got to start taking this multiverse. I mean, as this show goes, we know it's coming. So
Definitely.
there's a lot of stuff coming with this multiverse, because now we have X-Men. That's a whole big thing. The real question is Wolverine. Like, can you recast him again? Which I think you can, because as much as we loved Hugh Jackman, if he's done, he's done.
Yeah.
And Marvel's pretty good about casting.
Yeah,
people,
I believe in them. I believe in them. They definitely have the ability to cast somebody, and they'll pull it off.
Yeah, I got to look around and see who, like, some of the, because people have theories, like, I think this guy, or I got to decide who would be good at that. Like, we got to think of our own, like, but yeah, it's really the Wolverine. Got to get that right.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we got our Wolverine versus Hulk.
Yeah.
You could do Wolverine and Spider-Man, Spider-Man and Hulk.
It opens so many doors, letting the X-Men into it, because they were a huge essential piece of Marvel.
Yeah, well, even Wolverine
Wolverine was an Avenger.
Yeah, he was an Avenger at some point.
Yeah.
You open up this whole new, and then you have Avengers versus X-Men. You have all these different storylines. Maybe do Phoenix, like, right? Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fantastic Four. I trust Marvel to get that right, because even Iron Man, the actual comic of Iron Man was lame. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the big comics were Spider-Man and X-Men. That's why when Marvel sold the movie rights, those were the first ones to go.
That came up,
And then they were stuck with, they're like, wait a minute, we can make movies out of anything. And they made Iron Man. All of a sudden, they blew up bigger than anybody else.
Exactly.
With the B-list characters.
Yeah, Iron Man was the pinnacle. He was the forefront.
Yeah, but I never read Iron Man comic books. I only read like Spider-Man and X-Men, the ones
Yeah.
they sold. You know what I'm saying? The only Iron Man I actually read was the one I saw War Machine on the cover. And I'm like, oh, this is a good jump on point because War Machine had just taken over at the point. I'm like, oh, he looks awesome. Let me follow the book now. But that looks good. I smell Doctor Strange is going to be on the show. Like, there's just no way he doesn't show up on the show.
He doesn't just
pop up. He's got to, like I don't know who. I mean, they're not far from New York. And you know what? They might not have to grab Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange might just be to see what's going on and be like showing up.
That's what I'm saying. He's just gonna wave his hands and just open up a portal and walk through.
Same
way he just opened up all those portals and the cavalry came through for Thanos.
I'm looking forward to that. Wanda, you know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Vision's future. I hate for the show to end and Vision's just dead. I feel like he didn't deserve that. Like, I feel. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But it's like, oh God, I don't want to see him like die again. Like, it just be like you brought back to life to be confused for like 4 days and then you're dead again. Like, I don't know.
Now I remember. Now that they're telling us that Wanda has these powers that are just more than we can even realize. I remember you said that the reason why Hulk had such a bad response was because he tried to break the rules of life and death, basically. So I'm wondering if that scene where the dog had just died and they're like, you can do it, can't you? Maybe she has the power, but just because you have the power, with great power comes great responsibility. Doesn't mean you're supposed to. So maybe that plays into part of her doing something she wasn't supposed to do. Because she stole Vision's body.
When she was talking to the kids, it felt like she was talking to herself.
Exactly.
It felt
that
like
was a reflective moment.
Yeah, it was reflective, and that's why I'm saying I don't think she did the Quicksilver thing on purpose, especially because she kind of goofed it and grabbed the wrong Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Like, I think she did it like, I was like, you know, like her mind was like, all right, she wants a Quicksilver, let's find one.
Yeah.
And they like, you know what I mean? Like, her subconscious pulled that one.
So what if her fixing Vision was the ripple effect? Maybe it wasn't Quicksilver. Maybe Quicksilver is a byproduct of her.
Yeah, I think
bringing Vision back to life, and he wasn't supposed to be brought back to life.
I think the Hex, the town, I think Westview is a byproduct of her bringing Vision back.
Yeah.
I think Quicksilver is a byproduct of her stress. Of the Hex.
Okay.
Like just the stress over the whole thing, and then like her brother coming up in the family life, and you know, her first thing was Vision, and then she's reflective about maybe she even thought in her head like, well, man, I brought Vision back. I could bring my, you know, very subconsciously. She's like, oh, wow, I wish I could have done this for my brother or done that. And then
what a sister.
She found a way to do it. And it's just, like I said, I need to see Vision grab Quicksilver and do his little thing. I want to know what Quicksilver's thinking right now. Like, what's in his head? Like where the hell am I? like that's what, like, he's more, whatever's going on with him is different than the guys in Westview.
Yeah, definitely. Agnes too.
Yeah, Agnes. Everybody on the whole internet has, like, they're saying Agnes is Mosquito, like, but Agnes has got something. The easiest one to grasp is that maybe Agnes was the one that was in the witness protection program, and maybe she got a little more history behind her than we know.
I thought he said it was a guy though.
Did she? Did he?
Yeah, I thought Wu said it was a guy.
Maybe it was then. Okay, so maybe that's not.
That's why I was asking if it was Ralph, who we still haven't seen.
Yeah, and then, but like I say, Agnes is a little. I think there's a little more to Agnes than what's going on. Like, Agnes is a key player.
Definitely. Definitely. I think she'll probably carry a lot of weight, like the character Monica.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Like, this show does not have a slow moment. I mean, we're 5 in, 4 to go.
I like the pace that it's moving at now.
Yeah, I like.
Now every episode it's answering a lot of questions we had from the last one, but it's opening up just as much more new questions.
Well, if you didn't have the TV show, that's the thing, because you watch the TV show and you kind of powered through it, and they slowly revealed that. Once we said the opening up the 2 episodes was a good move.
Yes,
and then the 3rd episode things start moving, but you had to show us the TV show because that's what it. You know what I mean? You had to show it to us solid before you start breaking it up.
Yeah.
That way we understand.
Yeah.
And now that, like I said, it ramps up after that. the cat's out of the bag, and it's just
going out of control.
Yeah. So like I said, I wake up every morning now, and I'm about to go on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't want to see anything about WandaVision. I gotta watch the show. I watch it first thing in the morning. And I said, even this morning, I was like, I watch it once just to watch it, and then I watch it again to take notes.
Yeah.
Because I want to enjoy it. So I'm real happy with this. I'm excited about the things coming down the road.
Me too.
So Khiim, once again, thanks for being a part of this. It's been great doing this, looking at this episode with me, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you guys.